Okay, this is the nearest iteration of my cooler AC, and I used it last night. Did pretty well, but I do have to understand that that this is a cheaper cooler than my previous cooler, so it's not lasting as long. There's a little water left at the bottom. I pumped most of it out with my little USB pump here, which allowed me to pump the water out, because that's the main thing. When you put 2 bags of ice in here, the water that was remaining was heavy, so I got that out, so it'd be easier to maneuver. And I just put it into a green area in the place I was parked, so I didn't affect the environment. This is clean water from basically bagged ice from a convenience store. With this one, you notice I have more of the tubing here on the so it has a chance to get cooler, and I did notice it getting cooler. I'm still getting water infiltration in here, so I must have a gap somewhere. I think that's pretty much inevitable with these. I've got to figure out a way to evacuate it. Usually what I do is I reach down in the cooler and raise it for a little bit, and then it'll drain out, and then it still remains cool. But it is a little bit inefficient to have to do that, you know, multiple times during the night. So I put 2 bags of ice in there and melted relatively quickly, but there was the fact that this is a much cheaper cooler. It's an Igloo. It's like a $16 cooler from Walmart. The other one is a Coleman, which is like a $40 or $50 cooler. So it is a little bit more insulated. So it's a little bit better, but because of its form factor, taller, as you saw earlier in the video, it just does not put as much of the tubing in the ice, so it does not cool as much, but it does cool. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I have actually a whole setup, so I can add another one of these little bilge fans on the opposite side, so I could double the output. I'm still going to have issues with that infiltration of water. I also ordered another one of this silver tubing, this metal, so it should double my output. Basically, I'm just trying to make it because it's June now and it's hot, and it's going to get hotter in July and August. So basically what I'm trying to do is get something that I can use and stay stealthy, at least marginally stealthy. It's going to be louder, so if somebody's got their ears up to the van, they'll be able to hear that. But so I'm probably going to add another one of these. I don't know if it's going to be on the same side, potentially, but probably not. It may be on the opposite side. This is getting really complex, but I just need to get it through the summer. I've got some other, I'm going to do a whole video on what I'm learning from a July hot June. So I am getting an early dose of what's coming. So I just want to give you a quick run on that. This is a new one, and I also found that the 2 bags of ice in the other was not sufficient, so I'm going to have to put 3 bags of ice in here. If I, have any lag time between putting the ice in and leaving, or it'll just melt away. And I believe 3 bags of ice will get me through the night, but it's also heavy as heck. So, I'll be doing that only when I'm putting the cooler in the back, and then I'll be pumping out the water before I leave it, before I move it, so I don't have to strain myself to get it out. All right. That's what I've got, and I will be back. You're going to be hearing more of this because there's a lot more summer left. And you're going to see that video on what I've learned about the heat so far, as I said earlier.